And a shoot front somersault to landing. Davidova so secure.
It was a lovely exercise, but in my opinion, not the best of the day, whilst it was excellent. Here we see the upstart, one of the basic elements in gymnastics, and the preparation for what's called a shoot front dismount in a piked position. And showing a stable, still landing position. And 9.9 to score.
And Chen Wenyan of China finished on the beam with 9.7.
Now Olympic silver medalist on the floor from East Germany, Maxi Gnauk. After a brilliant beam routine, let's see what she can produce.
This, one of her strongest pieces. Well, that really was a mistake.
Something's gone wrong. She should have done a double back there.
And it's her tumbling that's usually her great strength. She's not marvellous on the dance things. She gets all her marks on her tumbling, so that's a disaster.
And there must be something wrong. That's on both takeoff points she stopped. Yes, it's perhaps an injury. Yes, it looks as though her left foot is a little sore.
Definitely injury of some sort. It must be an ankle. And for Maxi Gnauk to actually retire from the floor, it looks very serious to me, Monica.
Well, she must have taken a carefully calculated decision. She's able to walk off. And she really... What the team are going to do without her, I don't quite know. We'll look at this slow motion action and see if we can see where it went wrong.
No real sign there, but she obviously did something dramatic, and that's a terrible thing to happen for her, because she's, of course, really virtually ruled out of the top 36 competition, the individual competition as well, because she can't possibly score more than 2 or 3 marks for that routine.
Oh, no, she just more or less made an appearance on the floor, but it's the impact on takeoff that causes this kind of an injury. And whether or not she's going to have to retire totally, or whether they're going to be able to wave a magic sponge, I don't know.
Well, she's still got the vault to come, so that's another high-impact piece of apparatus on the ankles. It's a real disaster, because now the other 5 of the East German team have got to put in perfect performances every time if East Germany, the bronze medalists at the last World Championships, are to have a chance.
Well, Maxi's score has come up, and the audience are astounded. She's only got a score of 2.5, which really affects her in the individual performance. But, of course, we hope we have the strength and depth of the team to rely on. She's looking very sad.
Poor old Maxi. And she was hoping for so much at these championships, having come second so often.
Perhaps this will shake Steffi Kraker into action, because Steffi has been not really working brilliantly.
This is Chu Cheng from China now as we go to the floor. Oh, and that's a disaster too.
Pulling back out, and she fell.
And that, just in the background there, Maxi Gnauk racing through picture. She's actually got onto the vault, and she's landed it.
The Chinese, whilst they are absolutely superb on some pieces of apparatus, here seem to lack the power. Like the men, they were dynamic on floor, and the women just don't have that edge of strength to perform successfully the big tumbles. We do look on floor for intricate and original dance sequences in between the tumbles to punctuate the exercise before double twisting somersaults, as we've just seen. A nice routine, but not really powerful enough to get in the big score, John.
No, and with that fall at the beginning, I'm afraid the Chinese are rather losing their whole direction. They didn't do well on the beam.
8.95 to score. And I think the cause of that was the tumble that we just saw on the opening tumble.
A tumble on a tumble. Came a real cropper. Maxi now, there it is, the slow motion replay of her vault. And there was no holding back on that takeoff, Monica.
The full twisting Sukahara to land, of course. The takeoff is worse on a backward takeoff, and this is forwards, and she mastered that.
And she scored an incredible 9.9. Maria Filatova of Russia on the floor.
This little performer is dynamite, and she can be so elegant.
She looks so young, Monica, and yet she's the oldest in the Russian team, isn't she? She's 20, I think.
Yes, she's the captain, and she sets a tremendous example in her attitude in competition and in her performance. This is beautiful. The Russians take everything so seriously, they even have stripes down the leotards to enhance their length, because they are very, very short gymnasts. The preparations, the last tumble, and it's got to be a big one to get into the top group, and it is! Double back pike somersault to finish. Beautifully executed.
Does everything so well, she knows even when to smile. Absolutely delighted with herself, and rightly so.
I have seen her land on her head in that before. She's made a good recovery.
And the Russian crowd, not only appreciative of their own team, they know more about gymnastics than crowds anywhere else in the world.
It's nice to see the team spirit, to see them waiting for each other to come off the floor and greet. There's Alla Shisheva, the reserve, a good gymnast, watching. Here, this extension, the wide arm into the Arab Spring, the jump to get length into the back flips, a full twisting somersault, followed by a flick-flack, followed by another full twisting somersault, which gives extreme difficulty into the routine. There's a full twist to land.
And she knew exactly where she was going all the time in that one. Still anxiously awaiting the route mark. It's always a tense moment. There it is, 9.7. That's a good start for the Russians on the floor.
Natalia Ilienko now, waiting to go on the floor, still looking very solemn after her rather disastrous bar routine. But she is elegance personified. Just see her in action.
Well, she might have ruined her chances in the individual competition, but still important for her team that she puts in a really good floor exercise.
A double twisting somersault there for the middle tumble, so we are looking possibly for a double somersault at the end of this most elegant routine. She is just selling it and living every minute of it. Now take a breath, Natalia. Into the last tumble go. And it is double back piked, and she nailed it. Well, that was a beautiful routine. The use of her arms, the choreography, that is the makeup of the floor routine. The Russians really delve into this in tremendous detail. Coach, please.
What a pity she seems to have this problem with her floor routines. There we see the tumbling exercise. Tumbling routine in the middle. That was the double tuck-back somersault at the beginning of the exercise. Waiting anxiously for the score. She's still not happy. She can't get the memory of that bars exercise. But there it is, 9.9. That must make her feel better.
So, despite earlier setbacks for East, welcome back. The second best performer in the East German team on her asymmetric bar exercise. Whoops, a little bit of unbalance here. Forward sole circle and the somersault to recatch called a Corbett into upstarts, and she's going to continue. Very difficult for such a tall girl to get a complete circle in. Full twist there.
Now to the dismount. Shoot, front, and then full twist in it.